watching the ACC on ESPN. Homecoming weekend at the Heights, scenic Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts, the setting as Boston College gets set to entertain the Black Knights of Army. Hi everybody, Sean Kinney alongside former Minnesota linebacker Pete Najarian. Welcome to college football on ESPN3. This certainly has been a challenging week for these two institutions, not because of X's and O's, but because of what's happening in Washington, D.C. Tuesday, the Department of Defense suspended all interscholastic activities at the three service academies. Thursday, they reneged on that after determining that Army could get here using non-appropriated funds, non-government dollars, if you will, and the Black Knights have made the march into Boston.
And you did not want to see a termination of these football games from these academies. It's fantastic. They were able to come up with a resolution. They're not using those funds. That's great. We got ourselves a football game today.
How about we talk some football?
Yeah.
Boston College appears to be on the right path, and a lot of that has to do with the performance of senior quarterback Chase Rettig in his fourth year playing for his fifth offensive coordinator.
And playing for your fifth offensive coordinator in 4 years, that's extreme. But Chase said it's not a problem. He's having an absolutely awesome season so far. He's not throwing those interceptions. He's throwing touchdowns, and a lot of that pressure is being taken off him because the emphasis on running the football with Andre Williams.
When you talk Army football, it's no secret. You better get ready for the triple option. They have a new orchestrator this year in Angel Santiago.
And Santiago does an outstanding job, and he follows up a great quarterback from the previous year, set all kinds of records. He's going to try to set his own records. He's an outstanding triple threat with the option. He's going to do his very best today, and he's got a great running game behind him.
Last year, the Black Knights ran wild on the banks of the Hudson as they stunned Boston College. The Eagles try to return the favor next. Homecoming weekend, Chestnut Hill, back with kickoff after this. And welcome back to Alumni Stadium. We are moments away from the 38th annual meeting between Boston College and Army. As we take a look at the weather for today, no factor, beautiful afternoon here in Chestnut Hill, 67 degrees. You see the light wind, and we are anticipating the clouds to stick around for the next couple of hours. Army gathering, the Black Knights entering today with a record of 2-3, but they pulled off the win last year against this Boston College team. You see BC with the edge, 24-13 all time, and the Eagles have been tough here at home, 11-2 against the Black Knights. Steve Addazio has had success personally against Army. He is 2-0. Both those victories coming over the past 2 years when he guided Temple to two lopsided wins.
He's an outstanding coach. He's got a lot of enthusiasm. He's got the program turned around, or at least it's beginning to turn around. His recruiting is another aspect that everybody points to. They're already in the top 30 for next year's recruiting class, so he brings an energy that they haven't had for a few years here at Boston College. Chestnut Hill, folks are excited about their football team. Last week, a great game with Florida State. They're ready today for Army.
Big question coming into this afternoon. Can they build up the momentum of last week's performance against the Seminoles? They really dictated the first half of play. We are ready to go as Nate Freeze puts his right foot into it. High, deep, end over end kick that will go through the end zone for the touchback.
Army's going to come out. They want to run the football. They're going to want to establish themselves. And you'll take a look at this quarterback, Angel Santiago. Obviously, he's got to replace Trent Steelman. He's going to do his very best to do that. But so far, he's done an outstanding job of navigating this offense.
Really put together a complete game last week against Louisiana Tech. You see the rushing totals. He did not have to throw a pass in the second half in that victory because they were able to establish the ground game, and that's what makes Army go. So the Black Knights from the 25-yard line. Larry Dixon, the fullback. And they will run a little counter action up the middle and good yardage. A quick hitter over the right side to Trenton Turrentine as we take a look at some of the key players, the impact players today, both ways.
Well, you look on the offensive side of the football, you see Terry Baggett there. He's averaging 8 yards a carry. Xavier Moss could be a threat on the outside. You look on the defensive side, it's Kevin Pierre-Louis, one of the best linebackers in the entire country.
This linebacking core for Boston College, so talented. Dixon gets his first call, and the Black Knights move the chains.
This is what they want. Sean, they want to come out, establish a running game, move the chains, make sure that they control the tempo of the game and control how much they have the ball and keep Chase Rettig off the field.
Santiago from the 37, that same play, only different direction as they cut it over to Terry Baggett. He was tripped up at the line of scrimmage by Kasim Edebali.
Edebali is a name that I think we're going to hear a lot today. This is an outstanding, athletic, gifted defensive end. At 6'3", 250 pounds, he not only sacks, but he moves up and down the line.
Rich Ellerson in his 5th season as the Army head coach. What are his keys for the Black Knights picking up their 3rd win today?
It's about tempo. It's about controlling the ball and controlling the clock. That's exactly what Rich Ellerson talked about before the game.
For the first time, Santiago with the option and some room over the left side. Turrentine close to another first down. He should have enough. He picks up 10 near the 49-yard line.
The execution of what they do, here's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to get the players on the ground. You can see several of the Boston College defenders there getting to the ground, and that's exactly what Army's goal is. Chop block, let's get in the open, let's try to get ourselves out into space, and Terry Baggett, Turrentine, both going to do an outstanding job. If they can get into space against the secondary, they're going to win.
Kemper is checked in for the first time. They run the option. This is Baggett. Shake and bake move on to the Boston College side. So an impressive, typical opening drive right now for Rich Ellerson's Black Knights.
And Xavier Moss is one of the highlighted players we talked about on offense. It's not just his receiving skills. The other thing that these Army, they don't throw the football much. You talked about the fact they didn't throw it all in the previous game. But when you look, these receivers all want to block, and they do an outstanding job doing that.
Baggett coming off his career best performance last week, 143 yards, a couple of touchdowns in the win against Louisiana Tech. Dixon plows ahead for first down yardage. And Army is marching right down the field, power football against the Boston College D.
It makes it tough when you're a defender because you've got to find out where you are fundamentally. You've got to be fundamentally sound. You've got to play your gap. You've got to play your control. You got to stay on your feet. That's very difficult against an offense you've only had 4 or 5 days to prepare for.
This is somewhat a depleted running back core. They are without Raymond Maples today. Maples back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, out with an injury. Santiago on the reverse option pivots ahead to the 34-yard line, tracked down by Stephen Daniels, and this will set up a second down.
They've got 3 outstanding linebackers. The key to the game today is going to be for them to stay on their feet with all the chop blocking of the offensive line. The offensive line averages about 250 pounds. This is not a big offensive line, but they're very athletic. They're going to be animals out there. They're going to grit down. They're going to crawl across the field. They're going to make sure they try to get you down and get you onto the field with them.
You mentioned that linebacking core, DeVito, Pierre Lewis, Daniels. Santiago with a bad pitch. Baggett makes a nice midair adjustment on that one. The Boston College was waiting. That time, Daniels was able to knife his way through and drop Baggett for a loss.
You see the way that they have to run that, but that was a quick. They made the decision that time. Angel Santiago had no decision to make other than to flip it out. He's lucky that ball didn't actually get onto the ground. Terry Baggett did an excellent job making sure he insured the ball before he's tried to get forward with the football.
Gotta believe this is 4-down territory. Santiago on a draw all the way up the middle, pushes to the 31st down. Angel Santiago ahead. He picks up 7, and the Black Knights keep the drive alive.
Standing around on the football field before the game, Rich Ellerson talked about some of the differences between Santiago and Steelman from last year. Now, Steelman, he had 2,000 yards rushing, 2,000 yards passing the football. He was an outstanding quarterback, set all kinds of records when he was at Army. But Santiago's a little more on the athletic side, not quite as physical, but very athletic. You could see it there on that play.
Straight dive up the middle, a quick hitter to Turrentine. He's in there for the injured Raymond Maples. Turrentine, a junior from Keller, Texas, getting his 3rd start today, a career-high 81-yard rushing performance last week.
You can see that Army's not huddling. It's not a hurry-up offense as you'd expect, but they're definitely taking their time. They want to use that clock as much as they can while they get themselves positioned for the plays.
The 11th play of this drive for the Black Knights. From the 23, Boston College does a better job. The Eagles slam the door. Pierre Lewis coming down the line to jar Lawrence Scott.
These linebackers are outstanding. They can all run. They've just got to stay on their feet. But Kevin Pierre Lewis, he's a tweener. He's actually a hybrid. He's everything that's talked about these days in the NFL. They're looking for a strong safety, linebacker type of guy. That's exactly who he is. He's very active. He leads the team in tackles. Kevin Pierre Lewis is going to be on a lot of tackles today.
Another third down for Santiago. They'll carry out the option. Pitch it to Baggett. Tripped up at the line of scrimmage. Asprilla, the cornerback, had the initial angle. He blew the play up and helped a run.
One of the issues that they have faced this year, this offense, has been the fact that they get close enough. They get into that red zone or very close to that red zone. And unfortunately this year, because of, if you look at the record, the games they've lost, it's because they're not getting touchdowns. They're settling for field goals. It looks like they're settling for a field goal again.
Daniel Grochowski, the sophomore from Sarasota, Florida, 5 for 6 on the season. This will be a 38-yard field goal to give Army the early lead. A.J. Scher with the placement. Kick on the way. Plenty of leg. It's up, and it is through. The sophomore continues to shine for the Black Knights. Army draws first blood. They go out 3-0 on BC. Army out to an early 3-0 lead. 9:07 to go in the first quarter as the Black Knights march the football down the field. 13 plays, 75 yards. The key statistic there, Pete, 5 minutes, 53 seconds off the game clock.
They want to control the ball and they want to control the clock, and that's exactly what they did on that drive. The only thing they didn't execute on was they needed to get that first down, they needed to keep moving, and they needed to get a touchdown rather than a field goal. We'll see if that ends up haunting them as we get through the game.
Grochowski, who just hit a 38-yard field goal, sends it 2 yards deep. The freshman Willis thought about it for a second, but Dudek said, not this time. So Willis had visions of a 71-yard return last week to start the second half against Florida State. So out comes Chase Rettig in this Eagle offense. Rettig, the senior from Sierra Madre, California. 6'3", 206-pounder. See the 300-plus passing yard performances. I think the word to describe him has been steady throughout his career at BC.
Very steady, and this year he's done a better job of avoiding the turnovers. Had 2 interceptions against Florida State, but other than that, had an outstanding job, kept them in that football game.
Quick throw out, Alex Amidon. Get used to this connection. Amidon breaks free, keeps his balance. Foot race down the side. Amidon to the 20, to the 10. Finally knocked out of bounds at the 8-yard line.
They were prepared for the run. They didn't get the run. They got a quick pass to the outside to Alex Amidon. He's been doing this for an entire career. The guy had 1,200 yards last year. He's had a great first couple of games of this season with over 300 yards. That was exactly what they're looking for. Isolations with Alex Amidon on anybody. They want to get that, and if they do, Chase Rettig's going to look up and throw him the football. 66 yards on a simple screen. Andre Williams, the tailback, as they bring in the 2 tight ends, Naples and Parsons. They line up to the right. And it looked like one of the Eagles up front flinched, and this will be 5 yards on Boston College.
Number 77 on the offense, 5 yards, first down.
Transfer from Florida, Matt Patchen.
He is an outstanding left tackle. He's going to be playing on Sundays. He's a transfer from Florida. He's out of Tampa, Florida. He's a great football player, got an NFL body. Adazio loves him, talks about how physical he is. One of the better tackles in all of the ACC.
This is a power look from Boston College. 3 tight ends, the 1 receiver. They hand it off to Williams up the middle, cuts inside the 10, down to the 6-yard line, close to the original line of scrimmage.
Andre Williams, just a fun kid to watch, a great kid to be around. 6 foot, 227-pound bruising running back who looks to knock people over. He's an explosive guy. He's got the long ball in him too. Last year had a 99-yard run, but this is a guy who just loves to see the football. They're going to feed him the football as much as he wants today.
Yeah, that 99-yarder, guess who it came against? This Black Knight defense. 2nd and goal for Boston College. Misdirection following the Sinkovic block. Not much. Army shuts the hole, setting up a 3rd down as we take a look at today's impact players.
Well, and if you look at the offensive side of the football for Boston College, we're already seeing the impact of these impact players. Alex Amidon, obviously a great receiver, and Andre Williams. You've got the Holloway brothers on the defensive side of the football. A lot of brothers on this Army football team. These 2 gentlemen, they're going to run. They're going to be on a lot of football today. They're going to be looking after Andre Williams. They're the ones that are going to have to converge and make sure they stop Williams.
Williams goes in motion, empty backfield. They move the pocket. Rettig floats back of the end zone. Touchdown, Boston College. David Dudek.
David Dudek's an exciting player. He plays running back, he plays receiver, he's a returner, and this time it's Chase Reddick getting himself to the outside. He's got all the vision in the world to be able to survey. He could have actually chosen to run the football. He throws the football, looks for Dave Dudek in the back of the end zone. He's got the defender beat. Great pass, great execution by the offense.
BC goes 75 yards in only 2 minutes. Already you see the two contrasting styles. A big play for Boston College. Reddick throws his 9th touchdown of the season. And BC with the lead. Alex Samadon, coming off that record-setting season a year ago, keeps the balance, sets up the score. Eagles with their first lead. .9 to go in the first quarter. Boston College marches it down the field thanks to Alex Samadon. The senior receiver set Boston College single-season records last year with his receptions of 78, over 1,200 receiving yards. And I think you hit it at the beginning, Pete. He's off to a terrific start this year.
He's an explosive kid, and I think a lot of folks underestimate his speed, and that's one of the other factors. And the fact that he kept his balance, you got an opportunity to see his speed as he raced down the sidelines.
The second time in this quarter, Freeze sends the ball into the end zone for the touchback. Army looked good on their opening drive. Black Knights took nearly 6 minutes off the game clock as they used 13 plays, so don't expect much change here from Coach Ellerson as far as what they're going to do.
Well, we know what they're going to do, and now it's up to the Boston College defense to step up and make some decisions and use those hands, keep those players off their knees, and stay on their feet.
Army trails only Oregon in the country. You see that hefty total, 325 yards a game. That's off 60 rushing attempts per contest. They led the country football land last year. Now a flea flicker, wide open, Xavier Moss. Army goes pass happy. Moss will go in for the touchdown. 75 yards. How about that?
The Boston College defense was fooled. They were all coming up, going exactly for what everybody expected in the stadium. They're going to run the football. They're going to run some sort of a triple option play right up the gut. They didn't do that. They flipped the ball back. Great job by Terry Baggett. And Angel Santiago had an easy pitch and catch that time. That receiver, Xavier Moss, he exploded last week. We talked about him being an impact player. Coach Ellerson talked about it as well. He said, this kid's got great skills. He's an outstanding receiver.
Daniel Grochowski with the point after. Army reaching into the bag of tricks. Angel Santiago finding Xavier Moss. 75 yards. Who says this Army team can't throw? Black Knights back out in front. The Westside High School product, freshman Xavier Moss with his first touchdown as a Black Knight, his 13th catch of the season. And for this Army program to get 13 catches through 4 games and a quarter, that's like 30 catches for most teams.
It's absolutely amazing, but Coach talked about the fact that he's an athlete. He's a guy we do want to get the football to, and they want to reward him because he spends a lot of his time blocking on the outside. He's on top of those corners. That time he got rewarded.
Miles Willis will have a return on this one. Willis across the 20. Look out. He has some space, and he's finally tripped up. Julian Holloway on the special teams, but a return of 29 yards out to the 42.
I have a feeling whether that ball was kicked 5 yards deep or 8 yards deep, they were going to bring that ball out either way because they saw that there was a huge gap last time. This time had an opportunity to take that ball out and get a very nice return. Sets them up at the 42-yard line. But you can see, not touched until the first man who touched him, Julian Holloway, made that tackle.
Good starting position for Chase Reddick and the Eagles as they open up at the 42. will hand it off on the zone read. You don't see this look a lot. This is a direction I think Coach Adazio and offensive coordinator Ryan Day want to go eventually, but they just don't have the personnel for this type of set.
Right, and I think when you look at Chase Reddick, this is a drop-back quarterback who's having to adjust. You talked about 5 coordinators in 4 years. He's adjusting once again. You got Andre Williams back there. I'm going to feed him the football, and when I'm not feeding him the football, I'm going to start throwing the ball around to Alex Amidon.
You mentioned continue the momentum as one of the keys for Coach Adazio.
He's got to continue that offensive momentum, and they've got to stay disciplined. They can't have turnovers. They can't have fumbles.
Here's a little momentum coming in the form of the 227-pound tailback, Andre Williams. First down for the Eagles.
And they're running off that left side. That's Matt Patchen over there along with Bobby Verdaro. You're talking about 6'6", 300-pound Patchen, 6'5", 310-pound left guard in Verdaro. But Andre Williams, when you look at those numbers, 5 yards per carry, this is a guy, when you're getting 5 yards a carry, you want to keep feeding the Doak Walker nominee. You want to keep feeding him the football.
ACC's leading rusher, 11th in the country. They swing it out to Amidon. And Alex Amidon, yards after catch. 13 more to the Black Knight, 34.
That's going to be something that's going to be very, very difficult for the Black Knights to defend, because Amidon on the outside, most of the teams in the ACC struggle trying to guard him. That's going to be a big struggle because the focus will be on Andre Williams. Obviously, when he gets 8 or 9 or 10 yards on the first play, the next play going out to Alex Amidon, it's just going to open up this offense. It's one of the reasons that Chase Reddick is excited about this year's football team.
From the pistol, it's Williams with some room to the outside. Andre Williams picks up a block from Amidon. Touchdown, Boston College. 34 yards, Andre Williams.
Sean, nobody touched him. He hit the outside. He was able to get out to that outside. Matt Patchen again. We talked about running to that left side. They absolutely took everybody down, and there was nobody left. Nobody kept their outside arm free. You take a look at Andre Williams. He hit the outside. He bounced it outside, and there was nobody there. It was nothing but grass in front of him, and there's 6 points.
You saw the downfield block delivered by Alex Amidon. He took out Marquise Avery. And Boston College, 4 plays, 58 yards, and the Eagles go back up front. Let's look at this left side of the line. Bobby Verdaro, Matt Patchen.
Just an outstanding job, and that time it looked as if the defense unfortunately gave up that outside arm as they came to the inside. They expected Andre Williams to hit it up between the guard tackle gap. He saw that there was nobody left on the outside, was able to bounce it out around the outside of Hayden Pierce, the big strong safety. Once he got there was nobody in front of him. He had nothing but grass.
This running back position coming into the season was somewhat of a question mark for Boston College. You had Williams, you knew he was steady, but Roland Finch, who they were counting on for big things last year, he had fumble problems through the season. He ended up transferring. And then the other running back, Taj Kimball, still recovering from knee surgery. So the load truly is on Andre Williams.
And you look at where he's leading in so many various categories, or he's in the top group of so many. The guys, before the season started, everybody lit up talking about Andre Williams. Had a chance to do the first game of the year. Everybody that we sat with, Alex Amidon, Chase Reddick, they all talked about Andre Williams and how this year he looked like he was a beast.
Giaquinta lets it go into the end zone for the 3rd touchback of the quarter. So here we are, 5:19 to go. Neither defense can stop the opponent right now.
Well, you've got 2 explosive offenses. When you look at the Boston College offense, you've got the threat of the run and the pass. You expect it to only be a threat of the running game, but obviously Army on their previous possession, that fake run up the middle and then the pitch back from Baggett to Santiago opened up the passing game as well. I think you'll see Xavier Moss at least targeted 6 to 8 times today, and he's got the talent that he can actually break it. This is not just a receiver that's just an average freshman. This guy is something special.
Boston College has brought in Dominique Williams as one of the safeties alongside Sean Sylvia. No Spencer Rosatano today. He is out with an injury, and that's a big blow for the BC secondary as Santiago cuts it upfield. Not much, gets 2. Brought down at the line of scrimmage by Kasim Edebali.
You know, the amazing thing is when you look at some of the players on this Army offense, I was down on the field talking to some of the coaches, talking to Coach Ellerson. Terry Baggett is a chemical engineering major. These guys are student athletes with 4 or 5 stars when you put that up there, and just outstanding what student athletes you've got out there. Just a great group of young men that we've got with the Army Black Knights.
U.S. Military Academy. Here is Santiago floating it for Turrentine. He was well covered coming out of the backfield, and Army will be looking at a 3rd and long.
That was an interesting play choice there because of the fact that you're expecting Army to want to chew up that clock. Their defense just gave up some scores. Obviously, you get back out on the football field, maybe try to chew that clock, control the ball. That time throwing on 2nd down, a bit of a surprise. It did not surprise Boston College.
Santiago to throw, straight drop, little hitch pattern caught by Moss, close to a 1st down. This will all depend on the spot. It looks like they're going to give him a pretty favorable one, and it looks like Army has moved the chains.
Definitely looked like a favorable spot for sure, but he did a nice job of looking that ball in. Santiago throwing the ball on a rope to him. Great job that time by Xavier Moss, looking that ball in, making and securing the catch. Very close to the line, very close.
Black Knights move the chains. Here is Turrentine over the left side. He follows his lead block. That's the center, Ryan Powis, junior out of Virginia, the veteran of the line, making his 22nd career start today.
You look at that offensive line, they are very determined. You will not see a tummy hanging over these belt lines of this offensive line at 250 pounds. They are everything that you would expect. They do everything that all the rest of the guys in the military academy have to do athletically off of the field. So on the field, they might only be 250 pounds, but these guys are all man when you look at them.
And they are athletes as they give it up the middle. First time we've called Hayden Tippett's name. Tippett bulldozers ahead, close to another Black Knight 1st down. The senior from Tempe, Arizona.
He's got pretty good size. He's 225 pounds. So when you're talking about 250-pound offensive linemen and you've got a 225-pound running back in Tippett, 240-pound running back in Larry Dixon, so you've got a little bit of size to go along with some of that speed. They're coming out for the measurement.
You mentioned the education and all the achievements and the schedules that the Black Knights go through on a day-to-day basis. Tippett's already contributing to society. He spent 3 weeks this past summer in Ghana, Africa, helping out with some kids. He actually taught math in the morning and then helped a local college over there with some of their logistics as far as computer science goes.
Some great young men over there, for sure.
You saw the stretch of the chains. 1st down for Rich Ellerson's Black Knights at the 45-yard line. Kemper and Baggett are the 2 backs. The fullback is Tippett for this 1st down play. Santiago with the option. He will pitch it to Kemper. Has some room into the secondary. Pierre Lewis chases him down, but not before. Kemper runs for 12.
And watch when they hit the outside corner. Watch the block by number 31, Terry Baggett, the other running back, who's averaging 8 yards a carry. But look at that block. Made sure that he got that Bryce Jones. Bryce Jones has got to come up and make some plays today. We talked about featuring him as an impact player on a defense. Well, you've got obviously Kevin Pierre Lewis, and now he's shaken up. But we talked about Bryce Jones as well. He's got to defend the pass. He's also got to come up and defend that run and stop that run before they can get 8-9 yards at a crack.
This is a guy BC must have, and it looks like Pierre Lewis is going to be all right as he walks off on his own power. You mentioned that block by Baggett, and that was the one thing Rich Ellerson told us Wednesday. You know, it wasn't so much about Baggett's big play ability running the football. He knows he has that. He says he has improved the most in the blocking department.
Well, and the thing that's the most impressive about this Army team is they're disciplined, but they're unselfish. They really understand. They're working with each other. This is a team. Terry Baggett showed it right there. Just an outstanding block on the cornerback.
We'll keep an eye on Pierre Lewis as he exits the game. Santiago and a keeper gets 4. Tripped up at the 41-yard line. Sean Sylvia from the safety position in on the stop. He's always been an active safety the past couple of years, led the Eagles secondary with 86 tackles last season.
He's active this year as well. He's coming in with 25 tackles. He just trails a couple of those middle linebackers that are very active. Steele DeVito as well as Kevin Pierre-Louis, Stephen Daniels. They all can run. They all make plays.
Larry Dixon, a trim Larry Dixon, moves ahead to the 25-yard line. That's what happens when you cut out Pop-Tarts at midnight. He went on a strict diet during the offseason to add some breakaway speed, and he looks great and was a great dimension at fullback.
You know, that time when you look at the offensive line, the way they approached, they didn't try to get people onto the ground. What they were trying to do is just a lot of trapping and some cross blocking, found a hole, and a great job that time. Larry Dixon finding that hole and exploding through it for another first down.
Talk about his breakaway speed. That's the area he wanted to improve. He had a 71-yard touchdown against Ball State earlier this year. Baggett brought down by Steele DeVito, setting up a second down as we hit the 2-minute mark of this first quarter.
These linebackers can run, they can make plays. Josh Keys is another one of these linebackers who you're going to hear, number 25. Outstanding recruiting previous to Adazio coming here, but these linebackers all run. They just got to stay on their feet today. Otherwise, they're going to get some 8- and 9-yard gains.
Here's Dixon over the left side, breaking through a couple of would-be tacklers. Sylvia had him wrapped up, but Dixon with that strong lower body churns ahead. And these are the manageable third downs that Army has made a living on throughout the past 3-4 years, really since Ellerson's been there.
Moving the chains, getting first downs, controlling the ball. It's everything that they want to do. If they don't make this, I wouldn't be surprised if they decide to go for it on fourth down as well, just because of the fact they've just failed too many times in the red zone.
Dixon's been the hot hand, but it's going to be Santiago following a Dixon block this time, and Army moves the chains. Another first down for the Black Knights.
Rich Ellerson's got to be standing there pacing along that sideline. I can see him. He looks like a lion over there right now, but he wants to make sure that they execute in the red zone with touchdowns, not field goals.
Army picking up where they left off a week ago against Louisiana Tech as they have it 1st and 10 inside the 15-yard line. Santiago will pull the football back, shake a couple of defenders, and spin up to the 11-yard line. Almost starting to see some frustration by the Boston College defenders. In that case, Dominique Williams, he had the quarterback 3 yards deep.
Well, the frustration is this triple option. It'll drive a linebacker crazy because you're running and you've got to stay disciplined. You've got to move steadily, keeping that outside arm free. Good to see Kevin Pierre-Louis back out there. He made the tackle that time on Santiago.
Saw the red zone numbers for the Black Knights. They'd like to get more 6s than 3s. Just 11 touchdowns and 18 trips into the red zone this year. Turrentine in motion. They give it to Dixon over the left guard following the Steve Shoemaker block. And Army will have third down and short when we come back. Lots of early fireworks in this one. Boston College and the Black Knights, the 38th meeting. Reddick and company with a 4-point lead. Chase Reddick has thrown for a touchdown. Andre Williams with a touchdown run. Boston College by 4 as we start quarter number 2. Sean Kinney alongside Pete Najarian. And the Black Knights with 3rd and 2 from the Boston College 7. The heavyweights in for BC. Rudolph, Ramsey, Dominic Apia, Ryan Mahalik all on the front line. They pitch it, sweet, Turrentine gets a block, hurdles the defender, and picks up the first down. Good agility by Trenton Turrentine, picking up a block on the edge from the receiver, E.J. Tucker, and it's another third down conversion for the Black Knights.
Looked like Dan Brown, the defensive coordinator from Boston College, was expecting something to the inside because it was a short yardage play. He had a lot of folks to the inside. Nice job that time by Army getting that quick pitch to the outside, giving an opportunity for Turrentine to get to the outside, get that first down, 1st and goal.
14th play of the drive, and it's Larry Dixon lowering the shoulder pads. No word yet. There it is. Touchdown Army. And it's the fullback, the junior Dixon, scoring.
Larry Dixon, just an outstanding job throughout that drive and so far on this game. We talked about he's got that lower body strength. He's 6 foot, 240 pounds. You can see, nice hole as well. Great execution by the offensive line up front. We talked about it earlier. They might be smaller. They average about 250 pounds, but Shoemaker at 265, Powis at 250 pounds. They opened up a huge hole that time. Larry Dixon took advantage of it.
Larry Dixon with his 4th rushing touchdown of the season. He had a couple of critical carries on that drive, and it's a back and forth battle early on from Chestnut Hill. Larry Dixon following the Army offensive line. The Black Knights regain the lead. Army back out in front of Boston College 17-14. The 2013 season marks the 25-year anniversary of the Emerald Isle Classic, a November 1988 contest between Boston College and Army that was played in Dublin, Ireland. Coach Jack Bicknell and the Eagles upset the Cadets on that particular day as it opened up football over to Europe, and that was a trendsetter back in 1988. Over 40 former members, coaches are back, part of homecoming festivities this weekend to remember that special day. Talk about a story. The quarterback, Mark Campos, played with a broken jaw. He was coming back from a broken jaw as Miles Willis gets a little bit of room, and Willis for the second time returns it all the way out to the 50-yard line. This freshman proving to be a weapon in the special teams game for BC.
Certainly is, and they're not kicking the ball terribly deep. You can see it's down to about the 3-yard line, giving him a great opportunity to catch that football. Nobody touches him before he actually gets hit right there as he gets all the way up near the 50-yard line, gets tackled at the 49, but outstanding job of hitting the hole exactly like he should. The discipline, however, the Army special teamers that time not staying disciplined, not staying in their lanes, and by doing so opening up some gaps, giving a great opportunity for Willis to get a great return.
One of the keys for Coach Ellerson was to win field position. They're not doing that. Boston College from the 49, they had a drive from the 42 earlier. Rettig on a bootleg, rolls right, trying to outrun the opposition. Not much there. He is pushed out of bounds, shadowed the entire way by Thomas Holloway. Time of possession in favor of Army. The Black Knights on 2 of their scoring drives alone have eaten up over 12 minutes of the game clock.
It's what they want to do, and it's why when you look up at the scoreboard right now, they're ahead 17-14. They've both had great big play offensive plays, but Army wants to really chew up that clock and keep Chase Rettig off the field. They've done a good job so far. They've got to stop him on this drive.
Draw play to Williams up the gate. He has a hole. Breaking through tackles. Tripped up by Thomas Holloway again. Williams to the 32, 15 more yards.
It is a huge challenge for this defense because they are so, the size differential is just massive. And you can see big number 77 that time, Matt Patchen, coming around and leading through the hole on one of the Holloway brothers. That's Julian Holloway. Eventually, you get Thomas Holloway to make that play. These guys do an outstanding job of running to the football, but they've got to get that running game slowed down at the line of scrimmage, not 8 yards, 10 yards downfield.
Ready to play fake. They will run the end around. Alex Amadon has Patchen out in front, but Army closes in quickly as Amadon gets 6. You mentioned Patchen at left tackle. He was recruited by Coach Adazio while he was the coordinator at Florida. Patchen graduated last winter from the University of Florida, sat out last year because of a torn pectoral. So here's a left tackle jumping in for the departed Emmett Cleary, and that's a pretty good tackle to jump in.
No doubt about it. And the one thing also is they've brought several coaches up from Florida when Adazio was named the head coach up here at Boston College. That's going to really help in recruiting.
Williams cutting on a dime. Look at that cutback maneuver by Williams as he picks up first down yardage. Not just a big bull, he has some elusiveness to him as well.
He's big, he's fast, he's explosive. We talked about his ability to have some long runs as well. He had a 30-yarder last week, had a great game against Florida State last week. Just an incredible job running the football. He's a strong runner, and he wants that ball. If you give him the ball on every single snap, he'll take it. He wants to see the ball every single play.
Adding to his ACC leading totals, and now Williams to the outside, 10-5 and a touchdown. Saving tackle, able to trip him up inside the 2. Julian Holloway got a pinky on the shoestring that time. Otherwise, Williams is doing his second touchdown dance of the day.
Well, as you see, it's just a fairly simple move to the outside. Ian White leading the way. Now, he's one of the co-captains on that team right now for Boston College. He's already got his bachelor's degree as well. So we were talking about the student athletes of Army. Boston College has got their fair share as well. Ian White, just an outstanding right tackle. Great job pulling and leading on that play, that time for Andre Williams.
Everything tight. Williams goes in untouched. Power football, Boston College, and the Eagles respond.
Looked a little bit too easy that time, Sean. The way they were able to get moving down the field, they were getting, it felt like 8, 9, 10 yards per chunk as they were running down the field. Nobody touched them. That hole was 5 yards wide. You and I could have run through that hole together, holding hands with the football. That was a massive hole. Great job by the big guys up front. Gallick, Williams, Ian White, all the big guys making that happen that time for Andre Williams.
Nate Freeze with the point after, and Boston College regains the lead. Andre Williams, the leading rusher in the ACC Conference, coming right at you. 2-yard touchdown run. Williams with his second score of the day, following the big Boston College O-line. So far, a happy homecoming for the Eagles. Lots of opening salvos in this one. 12:08 to play, second period already. 3 lead changes. Boston College back in front. The Eagles behind Andre Williams, second touchdown of the day. 21-17, they lead it over the Black Knights. And once again, Nate Freeze showing off his cannon of a leg, sends it into the end zone for the touchback. We take a look at what Army has done offensively so far in this first half. They're going to need to do a lot more of it. The main thing is double-digit plays and keep that ball away from the BC offense.
Right, and when they get down there, they've got to score touchdowns. They cannot come away with field goals because so far, Boston College is getting touchdowns. You've got to match those touchdowns. They're down presently 21-17. They've done an outstanding job on the offense, but they've got to continue to do an outstanding job moving the football.
Boston College rotating some bodies up front. Connor Wojak will line up as the one technique. His father, Allen, was an offensive guard on Notre Dame's 1973 national championship team, and Wojak and the rest of the Eagles stuff the play as Dixon has nowhere to go. Brian Mahalik, Jr. out of Ohio, also in on the stop.
It's a big, solid defensive line with great linebackers behind them. This is one of the better defenses, but preparing for this triple option is never easy, and it's something that it just requires discipline. You've got to stay disciplined. You've got to get off blocks. Those are the 2 main keys that you've got to do to be able to execute and stop this offense.
Second down play, a little misdirection. This is Baggett. For as well as Army has played in this first half, they have not relied on Terry Baggett all that much.
No, but Terry Baggett's done a nice job when he hasn't had the football blocking. He's done an outstanding job there. And with the success that we've seen from Larry Dixon and from Tippett and from Tarantine, you've had a great representation of what Army's all about, which is we've got 4 great running backs. They're all going to touch the football.
Army's been as golden as their helmets on third down. Santiago running for his life. DeVito catches him in the sack back at the 24-yard line. There's one of those linebackers you were talking about, Steele DeVito.
And staying on their feet, not getting chop blocked, but being able to sling around and get themselves into a position to not only be a defender, but also make that sack, make that big play. That's something that Boston College did not have. This defense could not produce sacks. They had 6 sacks the entire year last year. Now they're starting to feel themselves. Don Brown came in with a whole new attitude, a new swagger. Be a dude is what he always talks about. I think right now these guys are being a dude. They're playing football.
And I love that. He said if you have to ask what a dude is, you probably aren't one.
That's exactly right.
Here is Tardu with a high kick. Let's see, did that touch an Eagle? I think it did. Army pointing as if they have the football. No indication yet from the 2 officials as they come together. Oh, this would be a huge break for the Black Knights.
See Coach Adazio's right out there, right near him, within about 3-4 yards of these referees, and he's coming over right now. He's got an opinion, and I'm sure he's going to give it to some of these refs.
We have illegal touching on the kicking team. Therefore, the ball belongs to the receiving team at the spot of illegal touching. First down.
Let's take a look at this one, Pete, as you heard the explanation from Gary Patterson.
You know, initially I did think it was an Army player that had touched, but maybe they were just trying to sell it. That's a tough angle to be able to determine. Here we go. This is a great angle right here.
Yep, right on the back of the helmet of Turrentine. Or excuse me, Baggett.
Yeah, Baggett. Sure looks like it.
So we'll take a break. Coach Adazio and the Eagles keep the football. Their offense leading by 4. In this offensive chess match, Boston College defense throws the first checkmate. They force Army in the game's first punt. So now BC with a 4-point lead and the football. Let's see if Rettig can lead the Eagles down the field. They've had no problems so far today. Out of the pistol formation, they pull a lineman as they give it to Andre Williams. Look at Williams go. Wow. Deliver the forearm shiver. See, he threw off a defender, and that is a typical Andre Williams run. He showed us all parts of his game in this first half.
He's got power. You get a good representation there. Then he's got the speed to take it to the outside. He can score just about anywhere on the football field. That time I was surprised he went down. There he goes through a monstrous hole. Andre Williams has power. He's got speed. He wants the football. But obviously Chase Rettig is going to have something to say about that, as well as Alex Amidon. Everybody wants their piece. And so far, the offense has had the upper hand with 21 points on the board.
Penalty on that play, a holding call against Boston College, so that wipes out the tough nose run by Williams. Pushes it back to the original line of scrimmage. Series of play fakes, and they will give it to Miles Willis, his first touch as a running back, and not much. Army able to chase down Willis. Malcolm Hudson, the freshman from Brooksville, Florida, in on the stop.
Miles Willis has done an outstanding job on these kick returns, so it looks like they want to give him a little bit of a reward, maybe give a little break for Andre Williams, sit him on the sidelines for a little while, get a little more speed in the backfield.
Least penalized team in the country. Rettig wants the home run ball. He'll settle underneath, and nearly a one-handed grab by Dudek. Incomplete.
Nice job that time by the Army defensive line, sort of getting at least close to Chase Rettig that time. That's a huge differential in the offensive line. Great job that time by Dudek trying to snag that ball, but Chase Rettig just a little bit too far in front of him.
Big third down here for the Army defense. Co-D coordinators Chris Smeeland and Payam Sadat. They know they need a stop. They're going to bring in their leader, Robert Coe, number 99. TJ Adamalala, also one of the down tackles. They show blitz. They rush 6. Rettig flows from the pocket. Throws downfield. Man wide open. It's caught at the 36-yard line. Spiffy Evans. And a third down conversion for the Eagles.
Army did everything right except the cornerback lost his vision with Spiffy Evans. Let him get behind him that time. Found that. He's lucky that that ball was a little bit short. Had Chase Rettig been able to get that ball on the money that time, that could have been an easy touchdown for Spiffy Evans.
27 yards in the completion, and Boston College is looking for that fleet of receivers besides Amidon to step up and give the senior some support, and Evans is one of those guys. He's an electrifying type playmaker, but has not resulted in a lot of catches for him, but he's still young, just a junior. That's only his 3rd catch of the season.
It's a great punt returner, does an outstanding job on that end of it, so they've got themselves a fantastic kick returner, a great punt returner. They really have turned the corner here at Boston College. We talked about how well they played last week against Florida State, really down to the wire, and it ended up just being a scoring contest. They were outscored in that football game, but that Florida State football team, they've got a lot of talent on that offense. I don't think there are very many defenses in this conference or in the country that can stop or slow down that offense.
Do you like that timeout by Army?
Well, I think they do need to regroup. They need to find out and fix some of what's broken right now because it's just too easy.
Boy, Williams through a gaping hole, and he's going to score again. 37 yards. Andre Williams with the hat trick here in Boston.
Just talking about being too easy, that was a little bit too easy. By the time he was able to get himself into that secondary, it was all over because when they see Andre Williams coming at him in the secondary, Nice cut right there. Excellent job of blocking up front by the offensive line and the tight ends. Excellent job of opening that hole. Andre Williams, great vision, exploded through the hole for the touchdown.
5 plays, 66 yards. Andre Williams following a couple of freight trains, number 64 and number 62. Big Harris Williams and Ian White follow the big guys. Williams did. Boston College, double digits. Eagles 28-17. It has been a huge first half for Andre Williams. It's really been a big start to the season for Williams, and he has added to his total today as we go back to the touchdown run.
You see both the left guard and the right guard and the right tackle pulling. They love running to that left side of the offensive line. They love big Matt Patch and Vardaro. But you've also got athleticism out of Harris Williams and Ian White to be able to pull, move across the defensive line, not reacting properly. They've got to crash down when they see both the guard and the tackle pulling. They're not doing a good job of that, and unfortunately because of that, that opens up that side of the field. That was a massive hole. Great job of vision that time also by Andre Williams.
Ian White completely dismantled Marcus Poling on that play. Army for the first time will try to get a return, and there is no luck whatsoever. Julian Crockett tripped up at the 10-yard line, so it goes from bad to worse, and this is a critical juncture now for the Black Knights. You can feel that momentum swinging toward BC.
They really cannot afford not to move the ball, move the time, and get those chains moving, and get that defense an opportunity to catch their air and stay off the field for a little while. This cannot be a 3 and out, or they're in a real hurt if they give Boston College the ball back somewhere near midfield.
Worst starting position of the day as Army will go to the air. Quick throw out to the far side and a rare drop by Xavier Moss. New quarterback in there is Kelvin White, the sophomore, in for Angel Santiago. White, great big kid at 220 pounds, 6 foot 3 inches, out of the Pennsylvania area. Surprised by this move at all?
I'm surprised. The offense has not been the issue. Obviously, it's been the defense, but clearly it seems as if maybe throwing is going to be the emphasis. This quarterback, the one thing that Coach talked about is he throws the ball so well. And he runs the option. He can do the triple option, obviously. He's playing quarterback at Army. He's better, but he's the best thrower of the quarterbacks that they've got on the roster.
Should be encroachment on Goodapple.
Offside. Defense number 97, contact. 5 yards, second down.
That's Truman Goodapple, a true freshman from Harrison, Ohio. Terrific wrestler in his day, won over 100 career matches during his high school years. 2012 Ohio Division II, Anthony Munoz, Defensive Lineman of the Year, Harris High School product. So you get a good look at Kelvin White. White coming into this game had completed 5 of 6 passes. Run up the gut. Spinning his way is Terry Baggett, his best yardage of the day. Baggett twists and turns past the 20 for an Army first down.
Great chance that time to get that first down because of the offside play. We talked about it. You brought it up as well just a little while ago. They have not been penalized. They're one of the best teams. They are the best team in the country. Only 2 penalties a game, Boston College. They've had a few penalties now, and that gave Army an opportunity to get out of this hole.
White wanted to go deep, nothing there, and now he goes down. Daniels and Mahalik, both in the vicinity, both will share a sack.
You can see, though, that with White in the game at quarterback, they're looking to throw the football. Now, they have not had an issue running the ball. They've done a great job with Baggett and Dixon and Tippett and Turrentine. But this particular series, at least, we're seeing the new quarterback out there who's looking to throw the football.
Different variations of this triple option with Kelvin White. White injured his shoulder during the spring. He was in the running for the starting job as they tried to find a replacement for the very durable Trent Steelman. Injured his shoulder, that shut him down, so he's trying to play catch-up as they go to Dixon over the left side. He is wrapped up by Daniels again. Dixon to the 26.
Nice job by the defensive line. Nice job by the linebackers that time. They've now put Army into a position, will they decide to throw the football? The expectation would be yes, with Kelvin White there as the quarterback.
The best armor for the Army defense has been the offense's third down capability today. You see the numbers, 4 of 6, well above their season average. Third down, White with the pitch. Turrentine, first down. Runs into his own blocker, Tucker, but not before he gets to the 35-yard line, and a huge third down conversion for the Black Knights.
That time looked like Dan Brown kind of backed off most of the defense that time, had a 3-man rush coming at him, and it really opened things up. It gave a great opportunity for White to get that pitch out there. Great job at Turrentine, using the blocks in front of him to set up exactly what he needed to do. Get the first down. Most important thing, get the first down. You're not trying to score, just get that first down, move the chains.
You mentioned the block. That time it was from Lawrence Scott, the running back. Time for White to throw. He zips it. Pass is caught by Baggett. Makes a defender miss and picks up another first down. Terry Baggett with his 3rd reception of the season.
They were not struggling with Santiago by any measure, but this is a different element that Army can bring, a better throwing quarterback. He doesn't run the triple option the same, but he certainly has a better arm. That was something that obviously Coach Ellerson's been talking about. Now we're getting a chance to see it. Nice job getting the ball out in the flats that time to Terry Baggett.
Army picking up a little momentum. Scott and Kemper, the 2 backs. The fullback is Hayden Tippett. Reverse option, quick pitch. This is Kemper. Hurdles the defender, stretching to the sideline, and he is hit hard. Good job coming in that time by the secondary. That's the sophomore Justin Simmons. He's in there for the injured Rossitano.
Big play that time by Bryce Jones, the cornerback, but he got hurt on that play as well. He's really favoring his shoulder right now. He came in and actually busted up that play, gave an opportunity for the rest of the secondary to come over and make that tackle for just about a yard gain, I guess. I guess they're giving it 2, but he's definitely favoring. He wants to come out of the game, but he's in there right now.
Bryce Jones, one of your impact players.
Yeah.
Second down for the Black Knights. They run to the short side. White, not much. He's caught at midfield. DeVito in on the stop along with Edibali. You can tell, as you mentioned, with no Santiago, the option game not as crisp with Kelvin White.
Certainly not as crisp, but I like that play call that time. They were going to attack Bryce Jones. He's still out on the football field. He's fair game. He's definitely limping around. He's gimping around with that shoulder right now. They wanted to attack him on that play. They didn't get to the outside.
Another third down. Here is White looking, floats, dangerous pass, but it found the mark. Oh boy, that seemed to hover in the air forever. Dangerous cross-fielder to Anthony Stevens.
And Stevens must have felt like he was waiting all day for that ball, because unfortunately it was a floater that time by White, who zipped it earlier when he was throwing out into the flat to Terry Baggett. That time just floated the ball, needed to get a lot more zip on it. Great opportunity for the secondary to get an interception. Didn't make that interception. Now you got a first down for Army.
You could see Justin Simmons. He was trying to get there.
Man.
New look for the Black Knights out of the pistol set. White will throw near side. Second straight catch for Stevens, but he is tackled immediately. There's Bryce Jones with the stop, so they continue to work on Jones.
They wanted to get on Jones, but that time the problem is there's nobody out there to block. There's nobody out there to get into Bryce Jones' face. That time fairly easily played. Normally what you want to have is 2 receivers to that side, so one of the receivers can crash down, make that block to get that opportunity to cut it for Stevens to get further upfield.
High snap. White uses his tall frame to go up after it. Kelvin White picks up 3. That was a good point you brought up a few moments ago. This has not been as an aggressive a game plan as we've seen from Boston College defensively through the first 4 or 5 weeks.
And Don Brown loves to bring as much heat on quarterbacks, and obviously this is a less of a throwing football team, but obviously with Kelvin White in there, they're throwing the ball much more than they were with Santiago. I wouldn't be surprised if he decides on this play, let's put a little heat on this guy. Let's put him under some pressure. I'm going to bring 4, 5, maybe even 6 after him. make him beat me with the football.
Josh Keyes, he is a pass rush specialist along with Pierre Lewis. They're on the line of scrimmage as White tries to stretch it out. Nuh-uh. He is brought down. Be about 2 yards shy of the first down. Pierre Lewis, top of the screen, holding his form, and there you get a good look at Angel Santiago heading to the locker room early.
Now it makes sense, and it makes sense why they've made that quarterback switch, and we didn't know that he'd been banged up in some way or another, but this is a makeable fourth down right now for Army. They've been very aggressive. We figured they'd have to be aggressive. They cannot punt the football here. They've got to convert. They got to get this first down.
Let's see if Dixon gets the call. He's back in there at fullback on this fourth down. White will keep it on the option. Pitches it early. First down. Turrentine to the 26. Turrentine and Dixon have by far been the most effective runners for this crowded Army backfield.
And that was a crisp running that time of the triple option. Great job, and look at the teammates just blocking for each other, giving themselves an opportunity to get that first down. A makeable 4th and 2. They're going to go for it. They're down right now by 11 points, Army, the Black Knights. They're going to make these plays. They've got to move the chains.
This is the type of drive they so desperately needed. Now Baggett with his speed is tripped up at the 23. Terrific play defensively made by Boston College's Dominique Williams.
Nice play by Dominique Williams. He doesn't make that play, we might be looking at 6 points on the board for the Army Black Knights. Great job coming up, closing on the play, and got the opportunity to get him to the ground.
Williams was used sparingly the past couple of years. Picked off his first pass last week in the loss to Florida State off a tip. Second down, this will be White, cautiously over the left side, not much. Start to look at the clock, and this is the type of drive Army needed. Remember, this started all the way back at their 10.
Nice drive. They've been moving the chains. They've been throwing the ball. They've been mixing it up a little bit, and it looks like it's got Don Brown sort of scratching his head right now because they've been effective throwing the football. They've had a little bit of success getting the ball out to Baggett and Stevens. Now they've got to get themselves in a position. This is 4-down territory right now for Army.
They flip it on the end around, trying to get to the near side as Xavier Moss. Not happening. Steele DeVito, Daniels, Sean Sylvia, all in the area.
Absolutely, but it was Josh Keyes, the other linebacker we mentioned. We said they've got 4 of them. They run a 4-3 defense, but Josh Keyes, number 25 on the outside. Outstanding job. Keeps his outside arm free, forces the cutback. There's nowhere to go. Great job of pursuit. Look at all those jerseys surrounding him. Great job on the defense.
You saw the statistic. This is amazing. Army on that last play have now run 47 offensive plays in this first half. Boston College, 18.
And the Boston College plays have been big plays. We've seen, whether it's Andre Williams, we've seen a nice long pass to Alex Amidon. They've done a nice job of just some very, very explosive plays. But this is exactly what you expect. Army's going to ball control. They're going to move the football. They're going to try to keep it away from Boston College. Boston College has done an outstanding job of when they have the football, scoring with the football, and getting touchdowns, not settling for field goals. Right now, that's the difference in the football game.
This will be the 16th play coming up for the Black Knights, who you have to believe will try to get 3 here from Grochowski, who's been money so far this season. Grochowski has already connected from 38 yards today. He's 6 for 7 on the season, and he will get the call with 54 seconds to go in this first half. This to make it a 1-possession game. Sure, the holder from the 30, officially 40-yard attempt. It's on the way, and he splits the uprights again. Daniel Grochowski gets 3 for Army. And the Black Knights able to eat up some game clock, turn the field position around a little bit, and go into the locker room possibly down 8. But I say that cautiously because there's still a lot of time the way this BC offense is moving.
With 48 seconds still on the clock, there's still plenty of time. And if you're Army, you've got to be concerned about how you're going to kick this ball off, because we've seen some big returns and giving them some great field position. Ellerson talked about we have to win field position. They have not been winning the field position game so far. Boston College has had great field position. When they've received the kickoffs, they've started up near the 50 on nearly one. So it's been a short field, and it's exactly what Boston College wants. It's not what Army wants. Army's got to push it back there. Be interesting to see if they decide to squib this.
You look at the 4 scoring drives for Boston College in this first half. Quick, fast, and quick again. I mean, it's just been the big play. Andre Williams, the 3 touchdowns. Reddick set the tone early with the 68-yarder to Alex Amidon on the very first play from the line of scrimmage. Miles Willis, who's averaged close to 40 yards a return in this first half, will get another crack at it, and he's right on par again. Knocked out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Army continues to flirt with fire, giving number 23 a chance.
Well, the surprising thing is when you watch Army as they're pursuing downfield, I was an old kickoff guy, so I understand this completely. You got to run down there like your hair's on fire. They're not doing that. They're jogging down the field, which is unlike anything Army, and they're opening up holes because there's too much separation, too many gaps between the players on the left side this time. That ball, they're lucky it was only up to the 36-yard line.
2 timeouts, plenty of time for Chase Reddick. The senior zips a throw along the far side. Clock will continue as Evans makes the catch. Clock continues to move.
They've got to move with a lot more urgency than this. They've got to get those plays in there and have 2 plays called, not just 1.
Precious time ticking off the first half clock, down to 20 seconds. My goodness, Reddick finally takes the snap. Pressure from the edge, he will step up. Chase Reddick still looking, now floats near side. Evans with the catch, and he gets out of bounds. But a lot of precious time wasted off that game
Absolutely
clock.
Amazing. We're talking about just 2 plays, and we started with 48. We're down to 12 seconds. Far too much time coming off that clock. Now they've got 12 seconds. They're positioning themselves either for a field goal or potentially a touchdown, but certainly they've got to look about 20 to 25 yards downfield, give that kicker a chance. Got a great strong leg, but give him a better opportunity to get it through the uprights.
Nate Freeze, one of the better kickers in the country, hoping to get a shot. BC can go over the middle. They have 2 timeouts. Reddick looks, nobody open. Now he zips it, and a hitch route, a deep hitch, hauled in at the 32. Clock will stop for the first down. That's Harrison Jackson with his first catch of the season.
Hey, Coach Adazio just about made it to that BC symbol right in the middle of the field that time, calling that timeout. He was pretty excited about, hey, look, get that clock stopped, and we want to get ourselves an opportunity to kick this ball.
Shaquille Tolbert with the stop as Jackson was able to find a spot in front of him. So Freeze on. This will be a 50-yarder for Nate Freeze. Lou Groza a candidate 4 for 4 this season. 83% accuracy, which is 5th best among the active kickers in the country. To make it a 2-possession game again for Boston College. Good snap, placement on the way. Kick up, it is good. 50 yards for Nate Freeze, and Boston College has put up 31 in the first half.
The scoring's been incredible. Both Boston College and Army going toe-to-toe, but the problem is Boston College has mostly come away with touchdowns till that final field goal. Army's got to convert. They've got to get that ball down the field and score these touchdowns. They trail by 11. It's not something that's insurmountable, but they've got their work cut out for them.
Nate Freeze bombs away from 50 yards. Boston College with the 11-point lead at the intermission. Andre Williams, 3 touchdown runs in the first half. Williams and the Boston College Eagles out in front here at the break, 31-20, and they will get the football first to start the second half. Chase Reddick and the Eagle offense looking very sharp once again. Let's put your linebacking hat on here,
sure.
Pete, and focus in on the Army defense. What do you see that they can maybe change up in the second half to at least slow down the Eagles?
Well, they certainly can't change anything about the size differential. And this is a great offensive line. You're talking about 2-3 guys that certainly have the great potential of playing on Sundays, playing in the NFL. So this is an NFL caliber offensive line, Boston College. They've just got to find themselves into a position where they've either got to make decisions on taking gaps and taking some chances, because so far what they've been doing is staying in a very base front, and it's not working. They've got flex tackles that are off the line. That's not working at all. They've got to get their defensive line up the field in those gaps and try to explode and make some things happen, make decisions happen faster for Chase Redding and for Andre Williams. The first half, they had zero success with that. Now the second half, I think they got to get a little bit more aggressive and try to create some turnovers.
Take some more chances defensively.
Yep.
It will be Boston College getting the football first. Army won the toss. They always take the ball. They want to get that triple option ball leading up offense on the field. So the Black Knights to kick to start quarter number 3. Homecoming weekend in Chestnut Hill as they try to keep it away from Miles Willis, and they do a good job of it. It's recovered at the 23-yard line, so that's one way to keep it out of the hands of Willis, the talented freshman out of Georgia.
That's a win.
That is a huge win.
That's a win, and that's going into the sidelines and going off at halftime and making some coaching adjustments. Great job that time making a decision. Hey, look, we're getting killed. We're not getting the coverage we need to get. We're going to have to put them in a position where at least they're going to have to go close to 80 yards to get a touchdown.
Redding coming off a 3,000-yard passing season a year ago, finished with 3,065 yards, just the 4th Boston College quarterback to accomplish that feat. We mentioned at the beginning of the game, his first college start was the 4th game of his freshman year against Notre Dame. How's that to break into?
That puts you into the fire pretty quickly, right? Right now, I guarantee you, the Army defense is very happy to see Chase Redding and the folks at Boston College taking their time, getting in the huddle. They want to stop them, obviously. They want to get 3 and out, but give themselves a little bit of air and stay away from a fast-paced offense that could tire them out moving down the field.
3 tight ends for the Eagles. Williams met in the hole by Julian Holloway. That time, the junior from Waverly, Alabama, held his ground. Holloway learned from a good one, Andrew Rodriguez, Campbell Trophy winner for Army back in 2011, and Julian's one of those guys who's worked his way up through the ranks.
Tough kid, but he's given up a huge size advantage. When you look at Andre Williams has got size. He's 6 foot, nearly 230 pounds, a lot of that weight in the lower half of his body. Julian Holloway, 6'2", 200 pounds, an extreme difference. That's a difficult tackle for him.
3rd down for Boston College. They set up the screen. Amadon makes the catch, has some work to do, and he is tripped up for a loss at the 30-yard line. Jarrett Mackey.
Another one of these guys. Great job that time by the defense reacting. A great job. The play calling, exactly what you'd expect. Let's get ourselves a quick screen down the middle of the field. Let's get it to our best player, Alex Amadon. But an outstanding job that time by the defense. We talked about being a little bit more aggressive. The folks up front getting a little bit of pressure, and then great job of consuming and getting on top of the football and making that tackle for a very short gain.
Nate Freeze on the punt for the first time. Rugby-style kick, and it's a boomer. Scott Williams makes the catch at the 20-yard line, and he is tackled in his tracks. Special teams coverage by Manny Espria.
We were talking about taking some chances, and I think that time the defense showed you they took a couple of chances. They took some gap control positions to force Andre Williams to have to move more side to side than straight up the field. Now, he did have that longer run on that 2nd down play with Julian Holloway where they met in the middle. That forced a longer play on 3rd down. Good job by the defense that time, getting on the field, getting off the field, 3 and out. Now the Army offense has got to start clicking, and they've got to do it with that backup quarterback. It's not Santiago in there right now. You got Kelvin White.
You saw Santiago on the sideline watching, so it's White from the 20-yard line after the 50-yard bomb by Nate Freeze. Army will go to the reliable fullback, Larry Dixon, who keeps his balance. And here is the breakaway speed we were talking about. They're not going to catch him. See ya. 80 yards, Larry Dixon. And the Black Knights back in it.
comes into the game averaging a little over 6.5 a carry. I think that's going to pad that average pretty nicely. An outstanding job up front. Calvin White on the triple option. You get an opportunity. There it is. Hands right to the fullback. That read off of the linebacker gives it to the fullback. Larry Dixon takes it. 240 pounds. He shows you that speed. He shows the fact that he decided to get on that diet, get off of those Pop-Tarts, and get that ball into the end zone.
You saw the pull-away speed from Dixon, the area of the game that he really wanted to improve on as he moved into his junior year, and he's busted now touchdown runs of 71 yards and now 80 yards here at Boston College. Larry Dixon, his second touchdown of the day. Black Knights back in it. Larry Dixon scores from 80 yards. Pete, how do you break open a fullback dive and take it to the house?
If you can cut off that backside and anybody makes a bad decision along the way, Steele DeVito, the middle linebacker, gets hit under the knees just enough to pause, and as he gets up, you can see Larry Dixon gets right past him. Once he does, the safety's out of position. The linebacker's been taken out of the play. There's nobody left. The safeties are gone. The linebackers are gone. Everybody's on the chase, and it's Larry Dixon's ball to run all the way to the end zone.
Michael Keim at left tackle with a huge block as well as he took out Edibali on the strong side. And just like that, Army is back into it. David Dudek from the 8, and he took the catch on a knee. A mistake made by Dudek. So Boston College, by far, with their worst starting position of the day.
Absolutely. Ellerson talked about earlier in both the conference call and then back down on the field before the game, he talked about it's a field position game for us. Well, this suddenly has changed, and there you can see the knee is on the ground. College football, you don't have to be touched. That knee hits, you're holding the football, that's where the ball is going to be placed. They're all the way deep into their territory, 7-yard line, but the field position game right now is being won by Army. Great position for them to stuff them once again deep in their own territory.
BC goes with the 2 tight ends. They pull a lineman, probably a steady dose of Andre Williams here, working in the shadows of their own goal as Williams knifes ahead to the 12.
Although I wouldn't be surprised now, Sean, if there's an opportunity for a little play action pass. Everybody, including myself, you're expecting Andre Williams to get the ball. Let's get ourselves up to the 20-yard line. Then we'll start taking on a little bit of risk. Not a bad spot to maybe take a play action, hit Alex Amidon on some sort of a corner route or maybe a post route up the field.
One quick change for Army we need to note. Josh Jenkins is now the cover corner for the Black Knights. He was suspended for the first half of this football game because of a targeting call last week against Louisiana Tech. The call happened in the third quarter, so with the new rules this year, you have to sit out the following game's first half. He has sat out, and Jenkins, probably their best cover corner, now will try to slow down Amidon.
Absolutely, with 2 interceptions as well, so he's got some of the best speed in that secondary, so he's going to be somebody that's going to have an opportunity to go against Alex Amidon. Now you've got yourselves in a 3rd and 3 position. Do you give it to Andre Williams or play action?
They give it to Williams over the right side. He lowers the lumber, charges ahead, and picks up the first down. That time he met Shaquille Tolbert in a good collision between the safety and the power running back.
He is a power running back. He's going to lower his head. He's going to get himself nice and low to the ground. You can see that. He's going to win that 9 times out of 10. When Andre Williams has got the football and he's got a head of steam in front of him, he's going to get you 4 or 5 yards.
Boston College with a fresh set of downs. They pull the 2 linemen and the tight end. Williams shakes free from a couple of defenders, bounces off his own blocker, in that case Bobby Vardero, and gets out to the 27. All Andre Williams right there.
That was all Andre Williams. He's done an outstanding job. Obviously, the goal is let's get ourselves, as you mentioned, talking about being in the shadows. You're talking about the 7-yard line where this drive started. Now you've got yourself into a comfortable spot. You got a 2nd and short. Maybe you start to air it out, but right now it's working with Andre Williams.
Amidon and Jenkins lined up all by themselves to the top. They go to Amidon, and Jenkins able to wrap up an ankle. Josh Jenkins, the freshman from Pittsburgh, California, played high school football at Powerhouse de La Salle in Concord, California. He battled Xavier Moss each day in the spring this year, and Coach Ellerson and the rest of the staff knew they had something pretty special with these 2 freshmen.
Absolutely. They love what they've got. They've got themselves a base. They've done a nice job of getting these folks to West Point. Really got to like the way Chase Reddick saw that opportunity. Let's get a one-on-one with Alex Amidon on the outside.
They go back to the ground with Williams, and he is met at the line of scrimmage. Julian Holloway coming through with the play for the Black Knights.
Julian Holloway attacks just like you're supposed to as a linebacker. Watch how he runs upfield and comes all the way upfield. A nice job tackling. Didn't get both arms around him, but he got that hand. Once he had the hand on him, he was able to bring down Andre Williams. That's not going to happen very often to Andre Williams. That time it was the win by Julian Holloway.
Holloway has great speed from the middle backer position, made the transition from outside linebacker in this double eagle flex alignment. Reddick in all sorts of trouble. Marker down, Reddick down as well, back at the 27. And Chase Reddick is slow to get up. Let's see what the marker is. I think it's on BC.
Illegal formation, 5 men in the backfield on the offense. That penalty's declined. 3rd down.
So the sack will stand, and here we are looking at this Army defense you talked about. They needed to get it up a couple of notches, a little bit more aggressive, and we've seen Holloway and a couple others step up early in this 3rd quarter.
First series, it was a 3 and out. Now they've weakened a little bit. Andre Williams, a steady dose, got himself a 1st down, got themselves out of the shadow, but they've got a great opportunity here with a 3rd and long for Chase Reddick, and Chase Reddick was limping around a little bit after that last play.
Willis is the 3rd down back. They pick up the pressure. Reddick with all sorts of time, looking for Amidon, and he makes the catch. The first team All-ACC from a year ago with the soft hands. What a catch.
A lot of folks don't understand his speed. He runs routes with extreme perfection, and that time, just an outstanding catch. It really got slipped down towards his fingertips, still managed to be able to reel that in. It's actually great coverage, and give Chase Reddick all the credit in the world. He put that ball in the only spot possible for the opportunity for Alex to come down with it. Alex does. Big gain, 2nd big game of the game for Alex Amidon.
39 yards in the completion on the 3rd down play to Alex Amidon. Amidon 5 catches for 122 yards as they work on Chris Carnegie, the sophomore corner. And you mentioned it. It was tight coverage. Carnegie played it as well as you possibly could.
Couldn't have played it any better. But Chase Reddick, he has really developed this year. And we talked about he's had 5 offensive coordinators. This is his 4th year as the quarterback of the Boston College team. But I think a lot of the pressure was taken off of him because of the emphasis on running the football. Got a nice big offensive line filled with juniors and seniors. A lot of guys who look like they got the potential to play on Sundays. And because of that, it has opened up the passing game better for him. He's become far more efficient this year throwing the football. His completion percentage is up nearly 10%. It's about 61% completion so far this year. So he is really doing everything right. He's had a chance to work on his skills. That ball was thrown perfectly by Chase Reddick.
Chris Carnegie walking off the field on his own power. Remember, Army without the services of one of their leaders today. Jeff Bacon out following a wrist injury. He's going to be lost probably until November, and he was the leading tackler a year ago with 136 stops. That was as a linebacker. They moved him to the back end at safety this year, and that move was working through the first 3 weeks. So an injury to Carnegie, that allows Steven Johnson now a chance to play at the boundary corner spot as Williams follows his block over the left side. He is fun to watch. Patient running there by Williams.
He really is fun to watch, but I'll tell you, those big linemen you and I have been talking about this whole time, and the massive size, the 300 plus across versus a 240, 250 pound defensive line. That time, again, running to the left side behind Patchen and Vardaro. Andy Galick, the center, doing an outstanding job, but Williams and White just pulling around to the opposite side. That experience allows them to open up some massive holes for Andre Williams.
Boston College and Duke, 2 of the more experienced offensive lines in the ACC Conference. Williams slipping free from a couple of tackles, cuts back to the 15, runs over a defender. Thomas Holloway unable to bring him down. Steven Johnson finally did. Boston College sniffing once again at the end zone.
We've talked about the vision from Andre Williams. This play was designed to go right there up the guard. He moves to the outside and shifts. Great job for the blockers up front. He reads it, was able to get to the outside. Nobody didn't keep their discipline, gave him an opportunity to get to the outside and extend that game.
See another injury for the Black Knights.
Is that Thomas Holloway?
I believe it is, yes. Holloway, the senior from Birmingham, Alabama. Really a success story at West Point. Started as a walk-on, then was a scout team player his freshman season. Was a second leading tackler his sophomore campaign with 76 stops. Last year he kind of hit a bump in the road. He was relegated to a reserve role, finished with only 23 stops, but was voted team captain this year and has been a steady contributor for Army early on this season.
And he certainly has, and he's been the leader of this football team when it comes to tackles, with 38 tackles coming into the game today. Tackles for loss, he's got 2.5 of those. So he is an active captain who really does move all over the place. We talked about at the beginning of the game. It was Julian Holloway, Thomas Holloway. They've got to figure out a way to be able to step up, but it's been the massive size of that offense. It's good to see him getting off the field, but that offensive line, the size, the strength, the confidence that they clearly have working together as a unit, those 5 up front, and of course the running of Andre Williams. It's been a real challenge today for those linebackers.
This has been a painful trip downfield for Rich Ellerson. Lost Carnegie on that 3rd and long completion to Amadon, and now not a good sign as Holloway not putting any pressure on his foot. He is practically carried off the field, so now they lose their team captain.
And let's not forget, this was a 3rd and 11 during this series of downs that's given them an opportunity to get downfield after that long pass to Alex Amadon. This is a great drive for Boston College and a back-breaking drive for Army on defense.
This is their power formation. They go I with 2 tight ends, everybody tight. Following the Sinkovic block, this is Williams inside the 5, down to the 4. For me, this is really refreshing to watch, to see the 2 tight ends, the fullback Sinkovic blocking. It's a lost art, isn't it?
Right, it's old school. It's a lost art except in the NFL when you get a chance to watch San Francisco play, because you're watching a guy run that Michigan offense that he ran for so long. But take a look at that run up the middle. They do have the double tight ends. They're spreading you out because they're putting all those big fellas up front, and they're saying, look, our big on big is going to knock you back. We're going to get the yards.
Here is big on big, and Army is up for the challenge. The men from West Point stuff Williams at the line of scrimmage, setting up a 3rd down.
I know all too well about that big blue offense when they're coming at you. I remember Jim Harbaugh in college. He had the big fellas up front. He just looked at us and kind of smirked because he looked across and he saw a bunch of Golden Gophers who were undersized going up against this Michigan offensive line, those extra tight ends, the size differential. But it's Bo Schembechler football. Just knock them off the ground and we'll see where we end up at the end of the game.
BC can still pick up a 1st down. They go with an unbalanced line. Williams looking for his 4th touchdown, and he goes in standing up. What an afternoon for Andre Williams. Touchdown number 4.
Andre Williams that time getting an opportunity to follow Harris Williams. We talked about the double tight end set. Harris Williams, the right guard pulling to the left side, opens up that play that time. Great job by Andre Williams being patient, allowing that hole to open up, and being able to dance right into the end zone.
Point after by Freeze is through. Andre Williams and Boston College back up double digits. Last year, Williams rushed for 196 against the Black Knights. Today, he has his 4th touchdown, 192 yards. It's been a steady dose of number 44. Boston College back up 11. There's going to be some tired students tonight here at Boston College. They've been flipping the eagle all over the place here in the football game. BC up 11. Boston College behind Andre Williams and his 4 touchdown runs. What a day for Williams. 205 yards now, 22 carries. That's a day's work, and we still have over 6 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter.
3rd quarter, not 4th quarter, 3rd quarter. It's absolutely amazing. He has really had a day in that drive. The keys to the drive, they started at the 7-yard line, but they pounded the ball with Williams, got that long pass on a 3rd and 11 to Amadon, then just started pounding the ball with Williams once again, and that big offensive line just starting to rip apart the Army defense that's starting to get a few players hurt here and there, and it's really something they can't afford.
A rare mistake by Freeze as he kicks it out of bounds. With the 4 touchdowns, Williams now becomes the 11th Boston College player to accomplish that feat. And Pete, you look at this 3rd quarter, the 2 teams have kind of flip-flopped how the first half went. We've seen the Army offense for a grand total of one
Kick
play
out
in
of
this
bounds.
third quarter.
On the kicking team, ball placed at the 35-yard line. First in.
While it's Boston College going 13 plays, 93 yards, over 6 minutes off the game clock on their last drive in Army fashion.
You make a great point, because think about how long it's been since the offense really got into that rhythm that they like to have on that Army offense with that triple option. It's been quite a long time considering that 80-yard run.
Kelvin White in there for the injured Angel Santiago at the 35 after the penalty, and movement up front. That's Ramsey getting a little anxious, and we've seen some Boston College mistakes. 5 penalties already for the Eagles,
which is unusual. They came in with just 2.
Offsides, defense, contact, number 96, 5 yards, first down.
That'll frustrate a coach as much as anything, too, because the man who jumps off sides, it's one thing if it's somebody on the outsides, but when you're right over the center, that just drives these defensive coordinators nuts.
No excuse there as Turrentine, check that Baggett, tried to reverse direction, but not happening. Dominic Williams has played a good game. We've called his name a few times, lending support to the run.
The defense has been bending, not quite breaking, but certainly there have been times when they get caught and they get themselves on the ground. That certainly does give a great opportunity for Army to run the offense that they want to run, which is let's cut block the front 7, and if we can get into the secondary, we got ourselves a big gain.
You give Army those first down penalties, those freebies, and that just sets up this offense to stay on schedule, and that's always a key. As Baggett tries to get his game going, nice zigzag type run as he yo-yos up near midfield, falls onto the BC side at the 49.
They really have done an outstanding job of spreading the ball around today. When you look at all the various running backs who've had an opportunity to touch the ball, Turrentine, Tippett, Dixon, Baggett, they all have explosive capability to bring it to the house. We saw a great example of that with Larry Dixon on the previous drive.
Turrentine and Scott are the 2 backs. Dixon the fullback on this first down play from the Boston College 49. They'll option it. White lost his footing. Looked like he wanted to cut upfield. Nothing there, though. Boston College had it snipped out. Bryce Jones, the cornerback, first one to jump on top of White.
Bryce Jones doing an outstanding job of collapsing when he needs to. It looks like he's come back from what was a little bit of a gimp shoulder for him for a period of time, but we talked about that early in the game. The corners have to lend support to this triple option offense. He's done a great job today when he's been called upon.
BC has struggled stopping the run this year, 11th in the ACC coming in, and today with the number 2 rushing attack in the country in town, it's been a tough chore. Second down, the reverse option, and a bad pitch. Somehow Dixon showed cat-like reflexes to snatch it. How on earth did Dixon put his glue on the fingertips and hang on to the leather there?
Absolutely amazing. And we get a second chance to take a look at how this ball was flipped off this time by Kelvin White. We talked about the mechanics of running the triple option being different. He's not expecting the ball at all. He's expecting to go out there and block the cornerback, Espria. That time, unfortunately, and fortunately for him, he was able to hold on to it, but certainly Kelvin White's got to be a lot more careful with the football.
It puts Army off schedule for this third down. See if BC brings pressure. Pierre Lewis off the edge. White in trouble, runs into DeVito, keeps his balance, but then Daniels finishes him off. Pierre Lewis and Simmons all jumping the pile, setting up a fourth down. What do you do here? Do you roll the die around midfield, or you try to play the field position game?
I think you've got to go with field position. Your defense actually has held up pretty well. They had the 3 and out. They had them pinned back to a 3rd and 11 before the long pass to Amidon. I think you've got to roll the dice. You got to try to pin them back somewhere deep in their own territory. And right now you're just looking at an offense that looks like it's sputtering a little bit with Kelvin White running that triple threat option. Boston College is going to use a timeout. I'm sure a situation here where the fake punt is in the back of Steve Adazio's mind as well. That's certainly part of the conversation. I don't know necessarily that that's what Rich Ellerson was thinking. I think he is thinking, let's get them pinned back in their own territory. They went 93 yards on us once. Can they do it again? Let's get them somewhere inside the 10-yard line. I would be shocked if they decided to fake punt. Boston College is so excited to have Coach Adazio here at the Heights.
getting the job done in his first year coming over from Temple. You see the years he spent at Florida, offensive coordinator, part of 2 national title teams. Really did a nice job with Temple in his first year with the Owls, guided them to a 9-win season, their first bowl win in a number of years, 1979, and a 2-2 start. Intensity, the name of the game for him.
He is intense, and he is a wonderful guy who's a fantastic recruiter.
Tardew on the punt as he tries to pin BC deep. Kick bouncing around the 20, will be touched at the 21-yard line, so a 28-yard boot by Alex Tardew. You mentioned the recruiting. Adazio, one of those guys, he's a hands-on recruiter, and they have brought in a wonderful class, or at least they're lined up to, in 2014. BC back with the football when we come back. More and more crowded for the Black Knights. Good look at Marcus Poling walking off the field, heading into the locker room. Backup linebacker has made the transition from the offensive side of the football over to defense. In fact, he was the offensive MVP at the United States Military Academy Prep School back in 2011. So a defense that continues to get depleted. Reddick on a bootleg throws, and there is the catch by Spiffy Evans across the 40 to the 41. Good throw and catch, 20 yards. Evans with his 3rd reception of the day.
Ben defended relatively well that time. At least Chase Reddick wasn't all by himself out there. A little bit of pressure into his face, trying to jump up and deflect that pass. But Spiffy Evans, outstanding job just looking that ball in, making sure that he assures the catch to get that first down, and here they are up to the 40-yard line.
Good news for Army. Chris Carnegie is back in at cornerback, but still no Thomas Holloway. And as we saw, the backup Poling heading to the side. Good cut back by Miles Willis. Willis into the secondary. Takes it to the Army 39-yard line.
Jared Mackey that time, the outside linebacker, needs to keep that outside arm free. If you get a chance, look at number 34 on the outside. He's got himself in the right spot, but he gives up that shoulder, and by doing so, that time he opens up the outside, gives it a great opportunity to bounce it to the outside for the running back, and Julian Holloway tracks him down, but not until he gets a first down.
Miles Willis was a quarterback for the Marist War Eagles, led them to a 4A semifinal at this time last year, and paying immediate dividends for a backfield that desperately is looking for somebody to relieve Williams throughout the course of a game.
And Williams has played an entire season today. It's just absolutely amazing. And they've used him. They've used him plenty. He's done an absolutely outstanding job. But right now, the coaches want to get that defense together. All these injuries starting to stack up. They're starting to move the football a little bit too easy. They want to get them together and just say, hey, guys, let's get ourselves, play fundamental football, play defense. Let's wrap up. Let's make tackles.
Chase Reddick, we mentioned earlier, playing for his 5th offensive coordinator in 4 years. And you look at the numbers as a starter back in game number 4 against Notre Dame. He's been in there every step of the way. His 38th career start today, and you see where he ranks among some of the all-time greats at Boston College.
Some greats, including Matty Ryan, who was up here for a long time, did a great job here as well. Chase Reddick really does have that potential for the next level, if indeed that's what he wants. And I think just about anybody playing at this level would love to see if they can play at the next spot, if they can play in the NFL. Chase Reddick's got that capability.
This is Miles Willis with a nice cutback, and Willis double-digit carries again there as he pushes up for 11 more yards.
Well, Williams gets a breather, and now Willis gets his opportunity. We've seen what he can do in the return game. Now he's getting a great opportunity to carry the ball. That offensive line, they are creating holes. They're massive. They're able to basically maul the defense right now of Army. Army just cannot find the right answers. They had a couple early. They had a few stops, but they just haven't been able to wrap themselves around, and now the yards are just starting to add up.
11 yards per play for Boston College. Reddick tries to add to that total, and it's tipped away at the last second. He was looking for Spiffy Evans, but a fine play made coming over Shaquille Tolbert.
Shaquille Tolbert, great job of getting himself back into position. He was beat on this play. Spiffy Evans had him, but he got back into the play, dove, sacrificed his body, almost came up with an interception. At least they didn't get another touchdown, but great job that time by Shaquille Tolbert.
Not a real accurate throw either by Reddick. If he leads Evans there, I think they have 6. On the delay, Willis with the call. Breaks free and tiptoes out of bounds, close to another Boston College first down. Justin Trimble, the senior, finally able to bring him out. There's some of the strength by Willis. Looked like Army had him up high, and he kept his balance.
Willis, just an outstanding running back. He possesses great speed, and the one thing that has really just been ringing true all day long is the ability to get to the outside. If they can bounce it to the outside, they certainly have added 4, 5, 6, 8 yards to almost every run. Army's got to close down and not allow those backs to bounce to the outside.
Steve Addazio brought over Ryan Day, who was with him at Temple last year as the offensive coordinator. And with this coaching staff and the type of personnel they want to bring in, we mentioned before the last break how Addazio is one of those hands-on coaches, especially with the recruiting circle, and it appears to be working. You take this guy's dynamic personality, he's going to win a lot of the top athletes over.
And one of the great sales pitch he had me a few weeks ago when I sat down with him, he said, hey, look, we're an Ivy League school that plays in the ACC, so he was really pushing the academic side as well, so you're getting the education and the opportunity. This is really a great tactic, and he's done an outstanding job recruiting already.
Power formation for an offense that's picked up 257. Back with you from the Heights. We apologize for our technical difficulty. We are working on the problem as we move forward here. Boston College able to connect on a 28-yard field goal, the first play of the fourth quarter as their drive stalled deep in the Army end. Nate Freeze with his second field goal of the day, pushing this out to a 41-27 BC lead. So Army with it at the 25-yard line. Kelvin White and the Black Knights in a hole, down 14 on the road. They'll hand it off to Larry Dixon, who's led the way for this Army offense. Dixon over the left side gets 3, maybe 4, driven back by the youngster Bryce Jones again. Jones has been active from his cornerback spot.
Bryce Jones doing an outstanding job of collapsing down on that triple option on that first play of the offensive series. Almost an interception out of Calvin White. That second down, getting a few yards, putting themselves in a makeable 3rd down and 5. But they got their work cut out for them. Calvin White has really got to find that rhythm for this offense. Right now, it's just not there, and Boston College doing an outstanding job on the defensive side of the ball.
They need to get it to the 35, 3rd down for the Black Knights. Still lots of time in this football game, 13:27 to go. Two-step drop, sideline, check that slant pattern, knocked away by Asprilla, incomplete. He was trying to hit Anthony Stevens, and Army looking at another 3-and-out.
Outstanding looking throw that time. It looked to me as if Anthony Stevens had an opportunity. It was just a quick slant in. Let's get that 5 yards. Let's make that first down. Move those chains like we know Army likes to do. That's another 3-and-out. Now it's 4th down and 5, deep in their own territory, the 30-yard line. They got to punt the football, but they got to find some rhythm. They've got to get some turnovers. The defense has got to shut down Boston College right now, and they have not been able to do that so far today.
Back-to-back punts for Alex Tardew. High end-over-end kick. Plenty of room for Spiffy Evans to return. Evans makes a move to the 40. This guy can fly. Spiffy looking for a little bit of space. Finally pushed out at the 39-yard line of Army. Evans with a 23-yard punt return, and the Eagles in good shape when we come back. Boston College by a couple of touchdowns in the 38th meeting. Absolutely gorgeous afternoon, a beautiful fall day here in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts. Chase Reddick and company with a 14-point lead, their best starting position of the day at the Army 38-yard line. Andre Williams is the ball carrier. Williams on a misdirection. Yards after contact. Would love to see that stat today as Williams pushes ahead to the 34-yard line. In case you're just joining us, here's what's happened today. It was back and forth for the first 15 minutes. Then Boston College took the lead for good late in the second. You see the career day by Williams, 218 yards, a career high, the 4 touchdowns. Army's been able to get the ground game going, but the yards per play, the difference in this one.
Absolutely, and the inability of the Army defense to get off the field. They have not forced Boston College into punting situations, and There we go again.
Williams to the 5. He has number 5. Andre Williams, touchdown, 35 yards. And it's that same formula, the lead block by the Poling Matt Patch.
Just a great job by that offensive line. Once again, they continue to open up holes that, quite honestly, I think, Sean, we could go through there together because these holes are big. Look at that nice cut, though, by Andre Williams. Outstanding, but nobody touches him till right there at about the 5-yard line. They're not going to bring him down at 230 pounds, exploding into the touch for a touchdown. Unbelievable day for Andre Williams. Got an Army player down right now.
Andre Williams with 256 rushing yards today and 5 touchdowns. A day to remember for the senior. Schnecksville, Pennsylvania native. Last year he led this team in rushing with 599 yards, and you look at it when he was coming in today. You tack on his career high afternoon, and this young man is quickly becoming a household name across the country.
The players were talking about him. They continue to talk about him coming into this game, just saying, look, this guy lit up Florida State. We think he's going to have another big day today, and he certainly has. As we watch one of the players from Army getting off the field, that's Richard Glover, who unfortunately was a little banged up on that play, but now he's making it off the field. He looks to be all right. But Andre Williams, just a spectacular kid. You can see why everybody's been so excited about him. He's a north-south runner, but he still has that ability to go laterally and find those open holes, as you saw in that last touchdown run. And as you get a chance to watch this, it's Andre Williams again, number 5, as he scampers to the outside. He skates to his right, finds his way into the end zone. It's 48-27.
Boston College out in front of Army 48-27, 12:27 to go in this fourth quarter. As Andre Williams has really stolen the show today. 5 rushing touchdowns for the senior. 256 yards, 9 yards away from breaking a single game record in the long history of Boston College football. Freeze, like he has done all game long, sends another kick into the end zone for the touchback. And a lot of it has been Andre Williams, but a lot of it has been the play of the 5 guys up front. You throw in the tight ends, Naples and Parsons, the fullback, Sinkovic. Those guys have opened up some gaping holes, and Williams has certainly taken them there.
They have absolutely done a spectacular job up front. They make it a little bit easier on Williams. He will run over people. He'll run around people. He'll get to the edge. But look at some of the holes that have been developed all day long. But you can't take away his vision, his ability to move laterally when he needs to or run over people when he wants to. This is a back that I think a lot of people are going to be starting to scratch their head and wonder about. He had 149 yards against Florida State. So if you love Florida State, you got to appreciate what he was able to do against them as well.
Stephen Daniels meets White in the backfield, drops the Army quarterback for a loss of 3. Williams with 256 rushing yards today. He is 9 yards away from breaking the record held by Montel Harris. Harris rushed for 264 back in 2009 against the Wolfpack of North Carolina State.
That's a number. Wow.
2nd and 13 after the loss. White's going to throw it. Pass batted down at the line of scrimmage. That's Mahalik with his 6-foot, 6-inch frame. That long wingspan getting a hand up on the football.
Now, Calvin White has done a nice job in there on the offense, running this triple option, but Angel Santiago, just a different player. You can see here, Calvin White, more of a thrower, the best arm on the team, but looked very casual, and a nice job by the defender getting his arm up and being able to knock the ball down just with ease. But Calvin White's got to find those seams. He's got to find those holes in the defense to be able to throw the football.
Here comes Pierre Lewis off the edge, and he gets him at the line of scrimmage. White might have fell forward for a yard, but the 2 linebackers, Pierre Lewis and Daniels, converging in.
Pierre Lewis, just an outstanding linebacker. They've had a difficult time with the triple option, but It certainly did change when Angel Santiago was taken out of the football game because of whatever injury is not allowing him to get back onto the football field right now. But Kevin Pierre-Louis, he comes into this season with 14 tackles for a loss, continues to add to that. He's aggressive up front. He's able to have the speed to be able to cover the tight ends, some of these wide receivers even on the outside. Just an outstanding hybrid linebacker.
He learned from one of the best when he was here, Luke Kuechly.
Oh boy, he's something.
Dominating football games like he is now with Carolina. Smithy Evans with the fair catch around the 35-yard line. So Boston College in control of this one on homecoming weekend. The Eagles with the lead late in this one. Back with you from Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts. Might be seeing a little history today. Boston College history, that is, as Andre Williams sprints out onto the field 9 yards away from setting the single game record. 256 rushing yards for Williams. Reddick will give it to him, and he won't get it on this carry. Williams is met hard over the right side. Take a look at the impact players today, Pete. You were right on the button with all four.
Well, I'll tell you, Andre Williams, after getting an opportunity to watch him the first couple of games, the guy's got over 500 yards. He's averaging 5 yards a carry, but today just exploding on this Army defense. And Alex Amidon, again, a career has been phenomenal, over 1,200 yards last year, but when he's had the opportunities, Chase Reddick has put the ball on the money to him and just done an outstanding job.
Williams catapulted up into the air. He was taken down low that time, setting up a third down for Boston College. And then on the other side, your two impact players defensively for Army, the Holloway linebackers combining for 20 tackles, but the storyline there, Thomas leaving late with an injury.
Yeah, and that's been the storyline really of this third quarter and now into the fourth quarter, is just the defense not only wearing down, but the injuries and folks being dragged off left and right. And obviously losing Santiago at quarterback, that killed the offense. They just have not been able to find any rhythm since that time. But the defense, the injuries are adding up, and Boston College is doing a great job of taking advantage of that.
Third down and 3. Williams on a misdirection, bottled up and thrown down at the line of scrimmage. Mackey in on the stop. Jarrett Mackey, the legacy captain, selected by the graduating seniors back in 2011. They put Mackey with that prestigious honor, and he comes up with the play.
Says a lot about who he is and what the rest of the team has thought about this gentleman, and does an outstanding job out of Snellville, Georgia. He's the captain. He's got, coming into this game, he had 22 tackles. They've made a lot of tackles today. Unfortunately, these tackles are just too far downfield for the defense and too many opportunities for the Boston College offense.
Nate Freeze on the punt for the second time this afternoon. Fair catch signaled for inside the 20 by Scott Williams. Boston College started the season 2-0. Victories over Villanova and Wake Forest. Followed up back-to-back losses on the West Coast. The USC lost to the Trojans 35-7. And then that hard-fought game last week to Florida State, who was just putting a whipping on Maryland today.
Oh boy, did they put a hurting on them, and I believe they may even have shut them out. Just unbelievable explosive offense, and we got a chance to see, is Maryland for real or not? By today's reaction, it certainly looks like that 4-0 start might have said something more about the competition and a lot more when you see what this Florida State offense can do, which I think Boston College could look at that and say, look, we hung tough with these guys. We've got an opportunity in the ACC.
First down give is to Hayden Tippett. When you have an offensive line like Boston College and the physical way that they play football, you throw in a smart quarterback in Reddick who just doesn't make mistakes. That's a pretty good formula.
It's a great formula, and Reddick he's an unselfish guy. He's gone through all these coordinators, never complains about a daggone thing. He'd love to throw the football, but I think he's been able to embrace the idea that if we can run the football, I got a lot better chance throwing the football as well.
Second down give is to Stephen Frazier. Frazier close to a first down for the Black Knights. You know, injuries are a part of the game, but you look at what Army has sustained early this year, losing Raymond Maples for a significant amount of time. Jeffrey Bacon, the leader of the defense, gone for another month. They're hoping to get him back before Air Force on November 2nd. tough to overcome.
It is, and it's difficult on these academies. I'd like to see the ball a little bit more often to Xavier Moss. He had it early in the game, but we just haven't had an opportunity to see him get out into the field, get into open space, and see exactly what he can do going up against Bryce Jones for the majority of the afternoon.
Moss, 2 catches for 86 yards and a touchdown. One of those, the 75-yard flea flicker early in this football game. I think when you watch Army line up through the years, they really have the wide spacing on the offensive line, don't they?
They certainly do. Nice job by Calvin White finding an opportunity, tucking and making a decision. Oftentimes you see these quarterbacks, especially young quarterbacks, they have a difficult time making that determination. Am I going to tuck it or am I going to throw it? He looked, nobody was open. I'm going to take the opportunity. I'm going to run to the football, get what I can get. Now it's a very makeable 3rd down and 1. Didn't force the football, made the right decision. Nice job that time by Calvin White.
Rich Ellerson, his Black Knights were in this game for a good chunk of it. Just running out of firepower, running out of manpower, more like it, late in this football game as the Knights keep the drive alive. Tippett gets 2 hard-fought yards. Kassim Edebali, along with Dominic Apia in on the stop for BC.
And Edebali's a fantastic football player, but going against this style of an offense, we haven't had an opportunity to talk about him much today, but just a great kid out of Germany, out of Hamburg, Germany. He's the co-captain. He's already got his bachelor's degree. Just an outstanding young man who's been extremely productive for his career. Extremely productive this year with coming into this game with 6 tackles for a loss, 4.5 sacks. This is a guy that I think is looking at that next level. And when you look at his physique and you look at what he brings to the table, smart, great football player. But he won't be facing, if he's playing on Sundays, he will not be seeing the triple option very often.
Well, one thing as this season goes deeper, Don Brown will put these players in positions to succeed.
Yep.
He is a great defensive mind. The coordinator coming over for his first year at Boston College, spent the last couple of years at UConn, delivering defenses like we're seeing here in the last couple of series. Pierre Lewis with that last jarring hit. You look at the UConn defense during Brown's tenure. Last season they gave up 19 points per game. That was 19th in the country. Allowed 97 rushing yards a game, which was toward the top, 7th in the country. Just 300 yards of offense. Now it did not hurt. He had 4 NFL draft picks on that defense for UConn a season ago, but Don Brown knows defense, and he will install that here at BC at the Heights. Oh, big time hit in the backfield, and once again, it's Asprilla, the cornerback. Manny Asprilla making his 21st consecutive start today.
It's exactly what cornerbacks have to do against this triple option. They got to be able to be tacklers. Great job that time by Manuel Asprilla. Coming up, assuring the tackle, forcing Army into a position where they've got to punt the football. They trail 48-27, little over 5 minutes, 5.5 minutes to go into this football game. But unfortunately for Ellerson, it's just too long. 4th and about 8, they got to punt the football.
That is the 4th straight stop by the Boston College defense. They did not have the right personnel on the field, so Steve Adazio is an unhappy man, leading by 21 points, and he is out on the field. They've had a couple of issues with their special teams, jockeying guys in and out at the last second today.
Well, it has not been a perfect game. Now, on the opposite side of the football, it's pretty daggone close to a perfect football game. Andre Williams, Chase Reddick, Alex Amendon, all of which have had absolutely spectacular game today. On the defensive side of the football, though, we've had some penalties. They've actually given up the 27 points, given up a lot of yards rushing the football. So there are things they've got to work on, and I think Coach Adazio realizes I'm not necessarily coaching them right now for this game. This is for games to come as we get deeper and deeper into the football season. But he has this program. You can just tell it, you can feel. This program is moving to the upside from what was a sliding program. This is moving up.
High, shallow kick. Spiffy Evans with the arm up in the air, calls for it on the fair catch. So BC will have it when we come back. Boston College celebrating a happy homecoming today in the Heights. 5th-year senior Kassim Edebali and the rest of his Eagle defense. They've been tested today. Army put a scare into them really for the first 3 quarters.
Yep.
making the necessary adjustments late in this football game, and Chase Reddick and offense have had their backs as well. Reddick and the BC Eagles putting up 48 on this Army defense as they open up in the I formation, and this will be Miles Willis with the call. Willis keeps the legs churning across the 30 up ahead to the 32-yard line.
I guess the question that remains is, are we going to see a record for Andre Williams? Is he going to get the opportunity? And how long is Chase Reddick going to be in the football game? They're up by 21. We got a little over 5 minutes to play. It's 48-27. I think you've got to be thinking about these things if you're Coach Addazio at this point in time.
Second down give is to Willis, and look at that hole. Willis tripped up just when it looked like he had some daylight. Good tackle made by the reserve linebacker Colby Miller, who's in there for the injured Holloway and Pauly. Set up a 3rd and short for Boston College.
Great closing speed, quite frankly, that time by the big linebacker, because the combination of the injuries and that big, magnificent offensive line that we've been highlighting all day long. By the way, they're starting to get a couple of replacements in there on the offensive line. Reddick's still in there. We're not seeing Williams, so he's just a yard or two short of this record, and maybe they're not going to give him the opportunity.
Reddick using all of the play clock as Willis is hit hard by Colby Miller again, and I don't think he got it.
No, might have lost something.
Been watching Miller in between plays inside the Army huddle, and this guy is fired up. He is looking for an opportunity to get his name into the regular rotation.
Tell you what, I like that enthusiasm, and he does what a linebacker is supposed to do, which is you close and you come up. You always step forward when you know it's a running play. He does an absolutely outstanding job. He stepped into that hole, he saw that pulling guard and stepped in there and did exactly what a middle linebacker is supposed to do. Looked a little like Luke Kuechly on that play.
Yes, he did. He had a few of those types of stops through the years here at Alumni Stadium. Freeze with a beautiful kick, spiraling kick. Williams with a fair catch at the 24-yard line. You know, I guarantee you, Coach Addazio does not care about that single season record. You know, he's all about the team, not the individual. One of the first things he did was to take away the last names off the back of the jerseys this year. Very similar to what Army does. You see the motto for Army West Point, the location on the back of their jerseys, but nothing on the back of BC's uniforms this season.
Right. He is all in, by the way. When he took this job at Boston College, this was not a stepping stone for him. He wanted this job. Take a look at the day that we're seeing out of some of these players, because that's not usual. You normally are going to see some of the players really explode with some of the yardage numbers and the 8 yards a carry that a guy like Terry Bagg comes in with. But Army started off the first half. They were spreading the ball around. Everybody got their opportunity. And today it literally was a day where Larry Dixon really stole the show from the offensive perspective. He had the long runs. He had the explosive runs. And I think that 240 pounds helped him.
On the pitch on second down, Army gets 3 more yards. See the clock winding down inside 3 minutes to go. Ball carrier Tony Giovanelli, a junior out of Chatham, Illinois, made his debut against Ball State, only his 6th carry of the season. 3rd down and 5 for the Black Knights. Late pitch and a first down, and once again it's Giovanelli's. Army, you know, there will be no quit with these guys. They're going to battle you to the end, and some of the reserves picking up some yards.
There's no doubt that they don't even know the word quit, but these guys are impressive, and it's amazing. The size differential, we talk about it all the time. It's always a factor when you're talking about the academies, but that's the starting defense in there for Boston College still, and these reserves are moving the football against all starters right now on the Boston College defense.
First down give is to Matt Giacinta. So we take a look at what's coming up for Boston College, and the road gets tougher next week as they travel to number 3 Clemson. Huge matchup there for the Eagles.
Oh man, Taj Boyd and these guys, I'll tell you what, they've really got it going on down in Clemson right now, and Dabo Sweeney with the enthusiasm. I think they're going to match enthusiasms down there when you're talking about Addazio and Dabo. That's going to be a huge challenge for this team.
Second down. Improv here by the Army quarterback, the Black Knights. And
there's a flag.
Late hit comes in as well. This will be 15 more yards tacked on.
Steele DeVito that time on that misplay, and immediately Steve Addazio pulls him out, and not happy about that whatsoever. The penalties today, that is another area. We talked about areas that they've got to work on. Too many penalties today. I know the scoreboard is showing a huge lopsided victory, but there's plenty of things to work on right now for Boston College.
Stephen Daniels, who's had a whale of a football game, in on another stop. He's now in the double digits. That's his 10th tackle. Pierre Lewis has been involved in 17 tackles today. DeVito with 12. So you look at it, there's your linebacking core. All three double digits in tackles in this football game against Army.
And not surprising, that they're going to cut block those guys up front, the linebackers. They're going to try to cut you, but if you can stay off of the ground, you're going to be able to make some tackles. Now, early on in the first half, Army was able to dominate, but second half they put it together. Another flag out on the field.
So as they sort this out, you saw the Boston College schedule coming up, the trip to number 3 Clemson.
Illegal block. Number 15 on the offense, 15 yards from the spot of the foul. Second down.
That is a skill player, so I'm assuming that block came just outside the form box where you can't go down low on. Steve Addazio with the trip to Clemson. North Carolina struggling this year. They still have one more independent on their schedule with New Mexico State in early November. By the way, that last penalty on Army, their first of this football game. Discipline, focus.
And Coach Ellerson understands everything about these games. They're going to be difficult, and they've got this great running game. But if you can stop them and you can get them off the football field, that puts that defense on the field. They're out there on an island against a team like Boston College.
Quarterback draw all the way. And let's not forget, Wednesday or Thursday, we weren't sure if we were going to be here. With everything that's going on, the partial government shutdown, the budget impasse in Congress, but Army able to get here through their non-appropriated funds, non-governmental money. That's how they orchestrate the football side of it, their budget. But moving forward, everything kind of in limbo. It will be a week-by-week basis.
Yeah, it certainly is, but I think calmer heads hopefully start to prevail in Washington. We get some of these things worked out. There's a debt ceiling debate still as well, so there's plenty of things on the financial front that the country and the academies are going to have to face over the next couple of weeks.
These two coaches thought football and football only this week. Mutual respect between these two, Steve Addazio and Rich Ellerson. And Boston College now 3-2 in the season, and looking back, Pete, Andre Williams, the story of this football game.
Absolutely, Andre Williams, Chase Reddick. When you look at the big highlighted stars, don't forget that entire group of 5 up front. But the offensive line, absolutely magnificent today. Andre Williams, powerful and speed. Chase Reddick, accurate. That offense is ready to click. They got to get the defense back together.
And the linebacking core of Pierre Lewis and DeVito, along with Stephen Daniels, pretty good nucleus to build off of as well. All three finished with double-digit tackles. Boston College defeats Army. For Pete Najarian and our entire ESPN3 crew, I'm Sean Kinney saying so long from Chestnut Hill. To see a replay of this entire game as well as other games on our family of ESPN networks, log on to WatchESPN.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.